Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I'm your intrepid host, Tonkai Two Feathers. Oop, got milk on my mustache mixed with coffee. I greet you with love and honor and the blessings from the Creator. And the title of this is Ask an Angel Transition Basics, basically. And, update. Yesterday was one of the strangest days I think I've ever encountered. I was literally up for almost 24 hours straight. And it was like, there's something going on in this world, y'all. And take it or whatever it is. I mean, I've been having issues with my sleep patterns, but I haven't been able to stay awake sometimes more than about 4 or 5 hours, and then I'm out for several hours. And so something is definitely changing. Well, in the last few days, well, I'd say this last week and over the weekend, been some really interesting things going on in the etheric world, if you will. And I've done a couple of videos on suicide and energies. I did an earlier video, just felt compelled to tell people, to stay out of the chaos and to keep their energy centered and so forth like that. And it's like, so I check in with different things, and every Tuesday there's a radio program I check with, and to find out whether or not my energies are on any kind of could use a brush, Dave. But anyway, sorry, I was doing some checking outside with the moon and such. Oh man, there's some there's some big time stuff going on. Not sure how it's going, but or how it got this way, but boy, anyway, I'm still a little frazzled by what I saw outside tonight. The moon is like straight up overhead. I mean, I got a bad neck from all the neck surgeries I've had, and I mean, I had to lean back to look at the moon, and I've been complaining the last couple of videos on Facebook and on YouTube here. Oh, well, there's the moon. It's like just above the treetops, and I have a passive solar home, so all my windows on the south side of the house. Well, I have a lot of windows on the south side of my house, like mostly. But anyway, looking in this direction for me facing the camera, I'm not supposed to see the moon set through that window. And so one of the first things discussed on the radio program tonight was, have y'all noticed anything different with the moon? And I'm like, yeah, I've been reporting about it. The moon's like in the wrong place. And they said, well, we fixed it. So I went out tonight, and it was like, I'm expecting the moon to be having to look for it in this area, not lean back and look up with it straight overhead. Now, I don't know whether or not ET had anything to do with this or whatever as far as the moon, but I'm here to tell you that I got a friend of mine sent me a message the other day. Dave, you're always looking at the moon. Have you seen what's up with the moon? And I'm like, well, that would be one key factor in this, y'all. Man, the moon is like all over the place. And while checking just before I started this video on why I'm a few minutes late, I noticed that I'm looking for my key constellations, which are Pleiades and Orion specifically, because I can spot them really easily this time of year. And I look for them, and they're like where I've been complaining that they've been down on the horizon. They're up overhead as well. I mean, Pleiades is exactly where it should be. Now, I don't know if this bit has been another Earth wobble or whatever, but I mean, like tonight, I'm like, whoa, everything's changed. Now, there've been I bring this up because several people have been questioning, asking, posing the question: have we just been through a time loop? Is there a time distortion going on? What's with these energies that are going through? How are things manifesting in your world? I mean, I keep seeing, there's all the time things in my corner of my eye, and I think, whoa, that was interesting. Wonder what that was. But now I'm seeing them like almost full on. Oh, maybe at a 45-degree angle. If this is 90 and this is 0, that it's somewhere in here where it used to be just out of the corner of my eye. And so the updates is that there are many of us who have already tuned into this. And I call it the cosmic computer or the quantum computer or the galactic computer, however you want to do this. Tuning into source, tuning into creator, all of the above. Now, there are slight distinctions when you get out there kind of thing, but for all intents and purposes, we are connecting to the quantum computer. We're connecting with other beings. We're having conversations between ourselves, and we don't even really realize it. And in the last few days, and some of the videos on Facebook and on YouTube, I have discussed that in this time of need and suicide and all these things, there are people scrambling around trying to grab onto something in this new reality. I did a video earlier, and it seems like male atheists are in the highest category now of people committing suicide. And I'm like, what? Because they have little faith or no faith, or they're, and it isn't about a religion, as I discuss often. It is all about spirituality, though. And so if you have nothing to believe in, and this life is just a sham, and you can't get anywhere and whatever, pop a cat there, you're out of here. Well, we should all know that that's like just the wrong way to go about this. And so I said, each one of us has a spirit guide or guardian angel or however you want to put this. And I have stated several times that you should ask your spirit guide. You should ask your angel. And so one of the first things out of this week's radio show was, hey, anybody notice the changes in the moon? Anybody notice the changes in the earth? We're in a wobble right now. And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, I keep reporting on this, but I went outside and I'm staring up at the sky going, man, it ain't looked like this in a while. I mean, tonight, just outside this moment. And so this being Tuesday night at 4:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, down here in South Georgia, just as a reference to where are you, Dave? But I look at things around me, and something over this last week has changed. I don't know what. It's to the good. There are people who have reported being very stressful, who are now reporting, for some reason, I feel happier than I have in a long time. And they're like, don't know why. And it's like, I've been cracking more jokes. Something that is similar across the boards, it seems. And I've been trying to, explain to folks what we need to do is we need to watch the headlines. We need to, when somebody gets killed or hurt, we do need to send prayers to the family. We do, but we need to keep our core. I just did a video this afternoon about this, and now I'm getting a confirmation that in the grander scheme of things, this is what's going on. These are the messages being sent out to everybody. Stay calm, stay focused, send out prayers that are needed everywhere, help where you can, continue to be compassionate, but don't lose your stuff. Tim Who TV, hello, good. Actually, it's still evening here on down here in South Georgia at the moment. But observing the moon tonight, I mean, I'm still kind of like, and the face is sideways, where it's been up here kind of thing, a little teeter-tottering back and forth. I called it in a video a couple of days ago. The earth is kind of spinning, not necessarily, or wiggling, rather than rotating, trying to put my own different spin on it because it's not acting right. So the first thing out was like, well, what do you got to report to us? Well, look at the moon. Notice any changes? Oh, holy crap. Yes, by the way. And it's it's straight overhead, and I've been able to see it through my windows here for forever now. And I literally was like, oh crap, what'd they do to the moon now? Went outside and was like, son of a gun, that bitch is wet. Overhead and sideways, tilting on its side. And so it's like, and that's tonight's observation, 15 minutes ago. from down here in Georgia. So, run outside, take a look at the moon yourself. It's in a different place. It looks different. It's the moon, but, with all the things that I've been observing, something's up. So, next update was about I have discussed with people that, if you're in trouble, if you know someone who's in trouble, try to stay connected with your higher self. Keep that line open, however you want to call it. It's like my open red line to my spirit guide. And so when I got this confirmation today, just a little while ago, as a matter of fact, I'm going through my angel messages, if you will, kind of, my cosmic zip files, and I'm getting this, and I'm like, well, I do want to discuss this because I've told folks, if you're in trouble, ask your angel. If you're in trouble, ask your spirit guide. If you want information, don't go out there channeling somebody you don't know. Stick close to home. Pick your own guardian angel. Pick your own spirit guide. Oh my God, that was like one of the next things that came out with the in my opinion, my updated info, and that I'm on the right track with this stuff as far as a galactic global kind of consciousness here. So I'm very pleased to report, yeah. One of the first things they said was that if you feel that you're not protected or that things are getting squirrely, ask your guardian angel. Now, and so I meditated on this before I started the show because I want to kind of be clear with this. Now, a lot of people have different descriptions of angels, concepts of angels, archangels, cherubim, seraphim. There are a lot of different, it's like being in the army. If you're a captain, you're over a bunch of folks. If you were a lieutenant, you're over fewer folks, but you still got folks. If you're a buck private, you're just one of the angels, kind of thing. It's not quite like that, but in a way it is. In there, there are the grunts of angels, and then there are the archangels. And you gotta serve your time before you become an archangel, because it requires knowledge and levels of understanding in the angel realm, kind of thing. But here was the question I asked before I started this conversation with y'all, was that, so is it an angel or is it us? Is it our higher self that's the angel? And the answer was kind of, sort of, mostly, but that's going to be hard for people to wrap their head around. It's easier to think that the angel really has nothing to do with them, that it's a separate entity, when actually our higher self is our angel self. Now, I question the same thing about a spirit guide. Now, a spirit guide is slightly different in that we contact it with our higher self, but it truly is a guide. And so one could say, well, it's the sergeant over a platoon or a squad of men in the army or something. And it's like, okay, so he's got a little bit more authority, and he kind of knows more where everybody's going, except for the lower level angels who are like, they're there to serve, they're, fighting demons, and, and they're on the good side. But that a spirit guide has a little bit more. Now, I bring this up in that, well, what great difference does it make? Part of the discussion. But there are folks who are like, well, I called in the Archangel Michael. Listen, if there's an archangel out there, you and me don't need to be trying to interrupt them. Just saying. Our jobs are not so important. We need to interrupt a general or a major, or we don't need to call the captain. We need to go talk to the sergeant or the lieutenant. We need to stick with the lower realms, okay? Because these folks are busy and they're tapped in. So once you get tapped into this energy, they're going to be hearing you. And it's like, hang on. So they might have to send a lesser angel, if you will, to be your spirit guide. So one of the things that, and they're kind of chatting with me at the moment, is that let folks know there are different areas of being an angel. And that because we do have a spirit, that is where this is a little confusing to some people. We are angels trapped in these 3D bodies. But now, if you have a guardian angel, is that necessarily are you your own guardian angel? Depends on where you are in the realm of reality, is what they're saying. And the angels tell me that it's once you reach a certain point of awareness and that you realize that you are an angel being, then they kind of sort of step aside and allow your own angel self. That's why when somebody asked me last week, Dave, do you have to sit down and do any kind of meditations? And it's like, no, these last 9 months, I feel like I'm always connected. I mean, I always have known my guardian angel or, spirit guide's always there, but I mean, it's like a constant presence. And I was like, this is really kind of odd because I know they're always there. And if I make a phone call kind of deal, hey, what about such and such? May take them a little while or whatever, but okay, I get my messages, I get my downloads, however you want to look at it. It's all good. Well, mostly, except for some of the traumas that some people are going to face, because Mother Earth is shaking, rattling, and rolling, and we're sitting on top of her. And there's going to be folks in precarious situations, and it's non-intentional. But if you don't have the wisdom to move out from where you are, then we as little ants on this planet, we're just going to have to suffer the consequences. It's nothing personal, but the planet is changing along with the rest of us. And yesterday, I mean, I'm here to tell you, I don't know, I forgot how many videos I did yesterday. And I mean 24 hours. And I mean, I'm an old I'm an old speed freak from back in the day. Now I haven't taken speed in a long time, but that's not the point. I drink my coffee about a pot a day, and that's my caffeine is my new speed, if you will. But back in the day of truck driving and working 2 and 3 shifts sometimes, the only way to make it through there was to take speed, though it was some kind of amphetamine. And I have told folks for a long time, I didn't realize I really had an amphetamine addiction until I quit taking amphetamines. And I'm like, holy crap. But to the point though, yesterday, damn near 24 hours. And I mean, I drank less coffee yesterday than I normally do. No sodas or anything like that to like keep me awake. And I mean, I was wired. I mean, just, now the last video I did yesterday, I mean, my eyes are all sunken and puffy. And I'd been up for 24 hours. But it was like I kept laying down thinking any minute now I'm going to drop off. 10 minutes later, I'm back up going, okay, what's next? So stuff's going on. Now, the galactic angel thing is that the message was that, yes, we all have a guardian. It's not an archangel or whatever. It's just an angel. It's a true spirit. It's connected with source. It more or less knows what's going on up yonder. Might not know all the tactics that the generals know, but they know what's going on and they know how to reach down and help. But the thing is, because here's a trick. I wish I'd have mentioned this earlier on, but anyway, y'all are still here. Maybe you'll make it this far. The trick is right now, because excuse me, let me have a drink. Because we have free will, and I always say this in the prayer, you choose to accept or reject the energy from source. So we have the choice to contact our spirit guide / angel, guardian angel, however you want to look at it. We have a choice. If we don't ask, we don't receive. We have to believe that they exist. We have to listen when they answer us. We have to, like I've described before, sometimes the answers are a little subtle. It may be in a weird movie and you have to rewind and go, what did they just say? Because it relates directly to whatever it is you're seeking or the angels or spirits are trying to show you. Comes in many forms. Sometimes an owl will land in my tree out here, right over my head, kind of thing, and just hoot, 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 hoot. Now, a lot of people think that owls are harbingers of bad luck. Hello, Stephen Kennedy. And it's like the owl is the harbinger of what's to come. And the owl's gotten a really bad rap because owls are wise. Owls can turn their head almost all the way around. I mean, it is creepy. And I've had very many owl experiences, none of which were bad. But because owls bring messages, they are the messengers. They're the silent messengers, but they bring important messages. And it was like I went outside tonight and it was like the owls are hooting down on the river again. And it's almost the exact same time of day every single day. You can set your watch to it. The owls have a hoot before sundown. It's like about an hour, hour and a half before sundown. Uncanny that they don't have digital watches while they're flying around. But anyway, but so owls have gotten a really bad rap because sometimes the messages are negative and someone's going to die or there's going to be a bad storm. Well, which would you rather have? The information or just be caught off guard and be swallowed up by an alligator? I mean, or whatever. But to the point though, so today I got a little angel message, as I was out there herding my chickens. That's another story. I'm going to do a special on that one. But, but I'm thinking to myself, there go the owls. What's the message? And while I'm out there with the chickens, it was like, you need to have a chat about this, about these angel messages a little more closer with some people because they might not quite understand. And what I mean by that is that, the steps are you must believe. It has nothing to do with a religion. It's not about believing in God. It's believe that you are a spirit, number one. We are angels in this body. We have a soul. You got to know that. You got to understand it. You got to believe it 100%. Otherwise, the rest of it's like just, okay, maybe. You're going to get some interference if you're trying to ask your angel or your spirit guide for advice. So the next step is understanding, okay, I am a spirit, I have a soul, regardless of religion. Now the next step is, do I believe in creator? Well, if you believe in the soul and so forth, one way or another, you're going to believe in a larger universal something out there. We call it source. Now, once you believe that part and it's out there, I want to put arms and legs on it and call it a God, but, let's just leave it there for a moment. So the next step then is believing that there are entities, soul beings that don't travel in 3D bodies, spirit world, etheric world. So once you reach this third step, okay, I have a soul. Okay, I believe in source, and I also believe in other angels and spirits, both good and bad, I might add. But because we have free will as human beings, it's up to us to accept or reject everything. If you say, I want to speak, I need angel help, please accept it. Well, it may not be exactly what you want. That's the problem with people. Because Sarah, sometimes I'm like, that's the answer, guys. Are you serious? Crap. And I've told people many times, they like, excuse me. They say, Hawkeye, you've seen the future. Yeah. You've done it. Yeah. Oh boy, I wished I could see the future. And I go, oh, you better be careful about what you wish for. Because when you want to know what's coming, or you get a message of a future event or something's coming, whatever it may be, if it's not always pie in the sky, people want to go, well, or whatever. And if they don't get what they think they should get, well, that really wasn't an angel message. You have to just take the message. Now, we have the opportunity to accept or reject listening to our higher self or listening to the angels or spirit guide and keeping our connection with the source. So if you choose to, well, I thought that was stupid. Well, I don't really believe it. Or when you start having doubt, and I've talked about it, all my years and everything, the angel came to me one day and he goes, Dave, you're about almost there, but there's a little bit of doubt left in you. And I had to admit there was. And I wasn't getting a continuous connection and It wasn't that I was getting mixed messages. It's this, I had to wait for an answer. I had to dial the phone. I had to burn candles and incense before I could get there. And then it was like, and the reason you have to do all that is because you're not quite sure that you got to give in. You believe all this other stuff. Why? What are you holding back for? And I was like, oops, yeah, it's that 0.1%. You have to believe that 100.1%. It's just a smidgen over the real thing. A lot of people are only 99% there. And I was trapped there for a long time. I was one of those stuck people on the spirit road. I had to have angel intervention. What's up here? And then I got the message. And then when I realized it and then started practicing it more and really, really, really believing in it, it's all been good. Now, I get visions of the Guatemala volcano. I did another video yesterday, and sure enough, the damn thing went off even bigger and spewing lava and stuff into the air. It's horrible for them folks down there, anybody around a volcano. But you don't want to see what I've seen in that respect. It's really hard to get that stuff out of your brain and the screaming. And anyway, the next other thing though, with believing and asking the angels is that they may tell me something that's actually possible. They may show me something that may actually be possible. But in my cosmic zip loads from, out yonder, I look at this information and I think to myself, what am I going to do about this? Am I going to do a video about this, or am I just going to keep this information to myself? You showed it to me, but should I share it? And so when I say, and I come on here and I do a video and say, I'm getting my butt kicked, there, angels are standing around me, using my rear end for a soccer ball, saying, come on, we gave you this download. You got to have this conversation, please. All right. Thank you very much. Here I am. But that's part of it. I asked the angels, tell me what you need me to speak about. Well, I need to speak to you all about, can you speak with your angel? Have you spoken with your angel? Do you believe you have an angel? And I mean, or spirit guide. I'm not gonna qualm over very minor details in that. They're both helpful. They're both your higher self, or you're connected with it. And so the more that you understand it and listen. Now, if they're telling you some stuff, go out and kill your neighbor. No, sorry, you got a wrong connection. Somebody crossed them wires somewhere. You got a wrong number, Jack. But so with that said, though, with your intention, when you ask, I want my guardian angel. I want my spirit guide. And because I'm in a positive attitude and my intent is positive, it better be the good one. I don't want no interrupt, But the thing is, once you touch bases with that higher self, we are all angels. So we gotta, but let's first just think there are angel beings, and then we consider ourselves. So those of us right now who are having these real peculiar kind of awareness issues, the answer is that we've been training with a full-time guardian angel. And now it's like, since we've made the connection, since we've made that angel connection, they're supervising us now versus standing beside us all the time. And it's like, oh, so we've reached enough level not to necessarily be on our own, but that our spirit guides aren't always standing there. Because we've got a connection. We've made the connection. We're holding the connection, and I'm, all the different stations and so forth I check in with, almost everybody's on the same page with this stuff. They describe it differently, but we're all on the same page. The awareness is happening. These things are happening. People's emotions and their awareness. People who were pissed off a week ago, we were told, I mentioned it, they claim that we're going to get this really nice wave of happiness come through because we've all been under such stress lately. And one of the things that came out with different shows here just in these last 2 days are people are going, you know what? I look at the news and it used to piss me off. Everything I read would just piss me off. And now I look at it and go, these crazy people are at it again. And what have I been talking about? We need to stay calm. We need to focus, send our prayers where they're necessary, and I'm like, okay, so this ticks me off, but I'm over it in 30 minutes. Where before I'd have been pissed off for a week or a month, So it's like things are changing. And these are the topics and things that are happening. And of course, there's a lot of other craziness going on out there. But some of this stuff is triggering other people who, for whatever reason, whether they truly are being mind controlled or whatever, something is triggering some adverse reaction in a lot of people. And those of us who have this awareness of, oops, I realize now, okay, call it the cabal, it's Agenda 21, Agenda 30. That is all true. The fires in California. Now they're saying that, Governor Jerry Brown, for example, in California, they all vetoed a bill that would have helped clear in 2016. So 2 years ago, they vetoed a bill that would have allowed farmers and people and stuff to go in there and do, guess what? Controlled burning to get rid of the underbrush. So when President Trump or they make these remarks, well, what's Governor Moonbeam got to do with this? They vetoed a bill that would have solved this issue. And now all these people and homes and oh my God. So whether you wish to believe some of these things or not, but I said it a couple of days ago. Jerry Brown should lose everything he owns because of the things that he and Congress did. Now, I didn't know at the time I talked about this and spoke about that they had vetoed a bill. So wherever I'm getting my higher up information, now I already know about the forest practices, but I didn't know that they vetoed a bill. So that even makes what they did or have done even worse. This is an awakening. So for those of us who see things now, I used to be confused. I'm still confused why they do some of this stupid stuff. But the bottom line is that they're boxed in. They're all in a corner. Those of us who are waking up, they have to kill us to put us back to sleep. I mean, I don't know if they could fill me with enough nanites to, they're going to have to put a Draco lizard beside me. Well, they're two different, but they're going to have to stand by me and try to, do mind control standing here. And they've tried, and I understand that for every person who wakes up, they get sort of an etheric bubble around them. Because once you reach a certain frequency, it's like, boom, you got a little safety shield going on. Now, I kind of felt that, and I've been trying to describe that to people with probably very little success, I might add. But that if you ask for protection, especially, your intent is good, et cetera, and you're following this basic pattern, staying in as high a vibration as you can, without cussing people out all the time and wishing people dead, stay away from that. That the connection would become more automatic for every one of us. We're all tuning into the same information. I think it's great. I've spoke 6 months ago. I didn't know whether or not this stuff was going to happen. And after, for some reason, my throat's real dry because I did like 20 videos yesterday and spoke for 8 hours or more or something like crazy mess. But so to ask an angel, you just have to believe that source exists, regardless of God, that angels exist, that spirits exist, and that you and I are spirits. And that, now's the time to dial in your own angel or your own spirit guide if you haven't already. Now, if you have tuned into your own spirit guide or angel, the next step then is in this reality is like really tune in, like focus, like meditate on your angel. Okay. Take 10 minutes, take 20 minutes, whatever it is, and say, look, I know you're there, man or woman or androgynous. I know you exist. I know you've helped me through some terrible jams. How can I keep this communication open 24/7 kind of thing? How can I keep my downloads? How show me how I can trust what you show me. So, and I've spoke about this before. I have little tests. It's like, when I took the pictures of those blue spheres in Ohio over the petroglyph and all the information I received them. And by the way, one of those sphere beings had contacted me today and said, "Oh, by the way, we're still here." And I went, "Oh, interesting. All right, I remember." And they're in the sky, and I'm like, "Okie dokie." Now, that's just my own personal. But the thing is, when those spirits contacted me in Ohio, I guess going on 4 years now, I realized that, I said, "Hey, can I take a picture, you guys?" Well, I have pictures to prove that. Now, I don't have pictures of what happened today, but I heard the same voice that I heard in Ohio 4 years ago. It's like, "Oh, you're still there." Checks in once in a while. And it was like, everything's groovy. Go ahead and tell folks they need to really start dialing in their higher self and believing in it. But you need to do your own test. Make sure your spirit guide, and it's not a test. Well, if you don't show me a spacecraft blowing up in space, I'm not going to believe you. Nah, that ain't it. You need to start out small. If you hear something that you should do or whatever, say, "All right, well then give me a sign that I'm on the right track." Put out something. Now for me it was feathers. That's why my Indian name is Hawkeye Two Feathers. Everywhere I went, there were two feathers there. I realized that spirit, there, thank you. You're watching and you're leaving me these little messages saying you followed your instructions and here's your two feathers. Thank you very much. Now, every person's going to get their own little messages or whatever, but ask them so that when you start getting proof that they're really speaking to you, that you really do have your connection and that you really trust this connection, and they may give you bad news, but they're never going to steer you in a bad direction. Seeing people getting burned by a volcano is bad news. But doing a video 6 hours before saying Guatemala is going to have an issue, you try to do the best you can with warning. Now, I've been called a kook for so many years, I wear it as a badge of honor. But the thing is when I'm listening and I see and hear and do these things, it's like, here comes another video. Now, let's see what happens later on. But it's interesting that the things that I'm hearing are being confirmed on so many other levels. It's not about me being right. It's about the message is correct. And every time I meditate on it, in it, through it, or whatever, the frequency is good. There's nothing evil in this. I can't, there's nothing wrong in it. All the information, although queasy, it's like, well, here we go, got to do it. So the moon's in a different place. Go outside and look yourself. It's in a freaking different place than it was this last week. Oh my God. Woo. Now the interesting thing is going to be, where's it going to set? Because right now it's like overhead. And if it continues on, it should set in my western window, which it hasn't done in a long time. Instead, it's been setting in my southwest window, which it's not supposed to do. It'll be interesting tonight and this morning to find out just where the moon does travel this time around. So I'm going to meditate more on how can I explain how to contact your own guardian angel, or but the biggest thing was, and I'm getting this like confirmation, is believe, ask, and accept. But for your own good, ask them to show you something. I don't know. And you'll know when you see it. You'll know it might be a video and you'll just stop and go, "Oh shit, that was it." And you'll back it up. And then if you're listening, they'll go, "See that right there? Yeah, you're catching on. We wanted to see if you could see the message. We sent it through something else, but there's your answer." And like for me, when I started talking about the earth wobble, I would like, okay, so how can I prove my theory with this? Well, go check here. Okay, there it was. And I go, oh shit, there's proof, Well, what about this? Creator, blah, 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 ding. Oh, information. So, it depends on what I'm asking for or what I need clarification with, and that depends on you. But the thing is because we have a free will, and this is really important, because we have a free will, we have the choice whether or not to listen, whether or not we want an open communication with our higher self or guardian angel. We have the choice. We have the choice. Well, I don't know. That's not important. My life's too important. I don't have whatever it is. We have the choice. So the reason why a lot of people aren't hearing their angels is because, well, for some reason, I don't know, that just seems too outrageous or whatever. They've had the choice to accept or reject. We have a free will on so many matters. It's like sometimes I wish Creator just go slap everybody at the same time. Now look, now that I got your attention, pay attention. What? And that's kind of what's going on right now. I mean, still kind of reeling about yesterday. 24 hours with no speed, or in only a couple of cups of coffee. What the hell's going on? We're all feeling it in different ways. I mean, I had a great day yesterday, herding chickens and haven't planted anything yet, but then I got to plant here in the next day or so while we're going into the full moon. But anyway, but I'm taking care of the dirt, and I'm pulling, the chickens are helping me pull weeds and get rid of some of the bugs in the garden. And, that's all a good thing. But as far as the angel messages, the biggest thing where I've been telling folks, there's going to be some crazy stuff go on, today again, apparently 2 children and it looks like a husband killed the family kind of deal in New Jersey there. We'll find out more information at 11 kind of thing. But to the point, though, there's some nutso people out there. So protect yourselves. Be aware of your surroundings, wherever it may be. But with the energy coming out of the galaxy, none of us are going to get away from it. I mean, ta-da! We all going to get a good wash in this stuff. And I think most of us have seen some kind of changes. Yeah, there's more craziness in a way. But when I'm looking at folks in the chat rooms of different places and stuff, and where I have a tendency to go lurk because I'm curious about what people are thinking on a personal level, not just who's on the video, but what are people chatting about? And this great awakening, there ain't no way to turn it around. They're going to have to kill us all. Well, they're trying that with the chemtrails and such, but the only way to get rid of this, and they can't win now, because the first object was to get 144,000 people on this planet to be aware that they were angels, to be aware that they could connect to the source. And as that 144,000 people, more people jumped on it. I did many years ago, and I said, I want to be part of the 144. I've been studying, Jesus and Buddha and all, and religions and higher spirituality. I've walked with spirits. I want to be a part of this. And then I got a message quite a ways back that was, right now it's 144 million of us. We couldn't, what they really wanted from planet Earth was 144 million of us. But they had to start out with 144,000, because if they'd have said 144 million, none of us would have signed up. We'd have said, oh, that's impossible. Now, I spoke about this before, but I want to reiterate this. Now that people are waking up and understanding their true beings, that guess what? There are 144 million of us planet-wide who are now connecting. Think about that one. Well, there's the 144,000. Add a couple of zeros. Because we deserve it. We've earned it. We're all talking about it. Every one of you here that shows up, you're a part of it. It's not because we're special. We just woke up before the rest of the crowd. That's all. We came out of our dream state sooner than they did. Does it make us special? Only that we woke up sooner. But are we better than our fellow man? No, because that's one of the big lessons. We're not better than anybody. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. We're together in this. When John saw the angel twice in Revelations, separate times, he bowed down before the angel, and the angel said, "What are you doing? Stand up, my brother. You are as I am. In many instances where angels have appeared to people, the angel says, stand up, for you are my brother. Now, so if you're a Christian, and I bring that up because most of the people I know have a Christian type background, others, but started out with Christian, so that you understand what I'm talking about this. And so we are all brothers, and that's part of this great awakening. You know, we're realizing it. Our eyes are going, what? I was awake for 24 hours, for God's sake, yesterday, going, what? I realize this, but it's like yesterday was sort of like literally a wake-up call to this new energy that's passing through us right now as I speak, as we sit and chat here. So whether you believe it or not, understand, and this is like they're really beating me about the body, if you will. Tell the folks, listen, you have the choice to accept or reject this stuff. And if you shrug your shoulders or whatever, you just rejected it. Because you didn't accept it, that means you rejected it. It's sort of a false, sign the paper, old man. Sign the paper. Most of you probably don't know about Fire Sign Theater back in the early 70s. Anyway, sign the paper, old man. He signs the paper, they kill him anyway. So, but, to the point. If we don't sign the paper, then we're guilty. Okay. But when we accept the healing and when we accept all of the above, which is just, yes, I believe this is possible, ta-da, the rest of the awareness and understanding comes in. I did a video about a week ago and I said, when you reach a certain point of awareness, your awareness goes, ooh, wow, and you reach this other level. And then when you get to that other level, another awareness comes in and you reach another level, but it's only like this thick. The level you were just came from, or actually you're building upon, it went from really thin. Now it's doubled in size because you reached another layer of awareness. And then you go, oh, wow. And then things start pouring in and all of your layers get thicker as you go up. The layers don't stay the same. The layers of understanding and awareness and of belief and of spirituality, they increase. And I mean, they're going to have to kill me there's no way I would change my mind about any of this. I might lie to them, but I'm not going to lie to myself or my creator. Somebody comes up, well, if they stick a gun to my head, do you believe in the devil? Yes, sir, I do. Now, will you bow down and worship him? No, sir, I will not, because Papa Cap in my ass, I'm out of here. I'm not having any part of that. You're not using my energy for your ill will. Now one can say that's what Jesus was talking about, and that's what the martyrs in the Colosseum and the Christians in the Roman days. Okie doke. I think I might have lied back then because they had no real way of telling, but I don't know. I'm going to volunteer to be eaten by a lion. But to the point, though, to thine own self be true. So if I lied to get away from being eaten by a lion, did I stay true to myself? Well, one could say that I could, drop your sword and run away to live and fight another day, and sometimes that's necessary. If you just say, well, I'm not, but there are times when sometimes you got to go underground, as it were, and you got to say, oh, yeah, I believe in your God, when actually you got your fingers crossed and you're going, yeah, I'm going to subvert these people from the inside. So there are different ways of looking at this. So, but the bottom line is, with you and me and our spirits, if you decline or don't sign or whatever, that's a poor analogy of signing a document. But it's more like signing up for being an angel. Do you agree to that you want to see your angel self? Well, you got to sign up here, and all you got to do is say, yes, sir, I believe, and go for it. Now, each one of you, I'm gonna repeat this again because I think it's important, and they're telling me to, is that each one of you needs to set up your own test. Make sure that your guardian angel or your spirit guide is going to leave you a little note. You're going to know nobody, it's not going to make any sense to anybody else because it's your own personal self, your guide, and your angel. But ask them. You need protection? Ask them. If you ask for money, if you need, if you ask for help out of a situation, you might get help, but it might not be money. So if you just ask for a thing, if you ask for help out of a situation, then pay attention. Because sometimes the least little crack in the door and you go, I don't think so. I don't know. That might be your way out. So you should at least go over and look through the crack, check it out. May not mean that you need to say, well, that door opened and I see a crack. That must be it. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying sometimes it's the least thing that you see that may be the biggest answer. It might give you the biggest bang for the buck. Well, I don't know. I need $100. Well, here's five. Well, I really need 100, but here's five. Yeah, but if you don't have $100, oh, don't be a smug bitch. I'm thinking about somebody who I tried to help one time. Well, but if you don't have $100, and I was like, yeah, but here's five. You only need $95 more now to get your 100. I mean, that's a silly thing, but that actually happened to me. And I'm like, you want $100, which I don't have, but I got $5 I'll give you. You don't even have to pay it back. Here's $5. That's all I got. So be careful. Make sure you know who you're talking to. Ask them to drop you little hints. Tune in, be aware, and understand that these folks are going to try. They are trying their damnedest because this new wave we're in it right this minute. I don't know how long it's going to last, but what they've also said, and they keep saying, and I've been saying, these are giant waves that are coming through, like waves on the ocean. And I've said the best way to go through this, they keep sending me this picture of me in an inner tube riding on the waves, up and down, up and down. Can't sink if you hang on to that inner tube unless you poke it. But to the point though, just hang on. Make some popcorn, grab your favorite beverage, because there's going to be some interesting things. They're already here. And it's going to be interesting just here in these next few days to see how people are reacting. Like yesterday, that 24-hour binge. I still I'm still trying to process that. And but I'll keep you posted. But the thing is that every one of us are experiencing our own little thingies, So some people are feeling like there's a time distortion. Well, I would agree with that. I've talked about the time distortion and it seeming like we're crossing into different timelines, time zones, time periods, time something. But the angels are saying that they've got a lot of that kind of sort of straightened out. And I can honestly say that I've seen some blips in the matrix, if you will, where, I can see entities rather than out of the corner of my eye, almost straight on. And it's like, wait a minute, flashes of things that disappear again. And I mean, I know I'm crazy, but I'm not on any kind of hallucinogenics or anything. And I do not feel that what I have seen is like a lot of folks try to say, whoa, you had a flashback. Oh, hell no. That wasn't a flashback. I would know what a flashback was. That wasn't it. But other people are seeing it too. So that's why I have this conversation. So every one of us experience it in your own way. But remember, you have the free will. It's up to you. My free will kept me from that 100.1% because a part of me somewhere deep inside was like, I'm not so sure about this. And the angels were like, see, God damn it, we got him 95%, 99% of the way there, but his free will is keeping him from receiving the rest of this healing and knowledge and information. Oh, shit. It was my fault because I refused to accept that last little bit. So I can't answer this for you, but look inside yourself. Is there a little bit of, well, I'm not sure about this deal in you? That's your free will. That's what's keeping you from having a full-time connection to the source, your spirit, guide, or angel. And if you're like feeling like left out, is maybe there's doubt in you instilled by other beings, entities, and because of all this chaos. That's what I did the video. Part of the reason I did the video earlier today about the chaos. We need to keep our core values. We can't help anybody if we give our empathy away. We can't help anyone else if we give all our love away and we're just empty shells. We have to retain it. We give it out when it's necessary and at our own discretion. We should share it, but we don't give it all away because it's not going to do. What good is it to me if I give everything I got away? I'm standing in the middle of the field with nothing going. So that's a little sort of in an extreme, but when we're dealing with energies, the chaos tries to steal our energy. The negative beings love to feed on it. So we send a prayer instead of 2 days of agonizing weepiness. Is it a tragedy about what happened in New Jersey today? Yes. But I'm not going to, I've already sent my prayers. Well, actually, there's sort of a continuing prayer going on, but I'm locked in with folks. But I'm like, okay, I agree. I pray with you for the family and the people that were really up close in this tragedy, but I'm not giving you any more. And that's not to be rude, but there are bigger things going on. And I need to keep my core value. Every one of us needs to keep ourselves together. Give it, send it, a good burst of energy. I was told many years ago, you want to send love to somebody, don't think about it for an hour. Give them a 10-second blast of I love you so much, there's nothing else in the world. You are my, and boom, send it out with a shot of energy. That is more, that intensification, that burst of energy or love or whatever that you send is better than a whole day's worth of meditation. And I'm like, and over the years, I've realized that it really does work. So for those of us who are in this, I feel people screaming and crying, and and my heart bleeds for these folks. And I used to spend days being depressed and wallowing, and oh my God, these people meditate and pray, and it sucked my energy dry. And, then the angels came down and said, yo, Hawkeye, did you learn anything? What do you mean? Remember the short burst deal? You used to know how to do that. Yeah. Go back to the burst thingy. Send out a prayer. Take 10 seconds and send out the best prayer you can and shoot the juice to it. There's more to that than is explained. Now, by the way, to kind of back this up, let me put this to you. I was watching a video last night, today, kind of in between. Linda Moulton Howe, who, if you don't know who she is, she's in the UFO. She's done a lot of research in the mutilated cattle, but she's in also other different kinds of things too. And one of her talks at the back this summer, I don't know, the gathering of like-minded ufologists kind of folks. Anyway, her subject was about the short burst energy that's coming from outside of our galaxy and that all the scientists are all talking about. And so in part of the discussion, it was that they get a burst of radio frequency wave sent that if it were any longer than a couple of milliseconds, that it would like burn a hole through the earth. The amount of energy behind that millisecond burst of energy is enormous because it sent the message all the way across the galaxy and into an open space and then into another galaxy. And it's like, so they're working on, I can't remember the name of the project, but on using that same technology. So it's like when I got the update about, well, remember the burst thing. Now I listen to Linda Moulton Howe, and she's talking about these radio bursts and the amount of energy that's behind these radio bursts, and that there are different frequencies. And they've pinpointed a general location of the sky where these things are coming from. It was the energy in themselves, because when Spirit was telling me, do the short burst, it's better than a long meditation. if you're trying to pray for somebody. And then I get information having to do with incoming messages from the big giant head in the dwarf galaxy, where these messages are being sent in millisecond burst, but with the power of 10 suns or something like that behind it. So guess what? That's one of those angel messages to me. See, Hawkeye, we told you that the little short bursts were really good, and now they're verifying it through a different kind of science. But the science in itself, if I'm sending energy out with my thought waves, isn't that a radio energy type burst? And if I send a short burst of it with the most love and honor and respect and power that I can, then guess what? Even the ETs believe it is in a distant galaxy far, far away. Short, fast energy burst, bam, get you there. There you go. So you will choose yourself. Remember, if you don't act on it, that's almost like rejecting it. Your free will is important. So if you feel like you're almost there, but you're missing something, I ask you, look inside your own self. You got to be really tough and go, well, I think I do. If you say you think you do in any statement about, do I believe this? Well, I think I do. But do you believe in that? Well, I think I do. And blah, 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 I think I do. Then you just failed the test because you used the words, I think I do. And you need to change that to yes. Not I think, but yes. And there might be a little twinge inside you go, are you sure? Just go, oh, shut up. Leave me alone. Yes. Because if you believe 98% of it, what's holding you back? That's what the angels told me. And I had to agree. And ever since I've done that and continue to do, as I described with you, the basic layers of shamanism and spiritualism I learned 40, 50 years ago, each one of those layers are still expanding, plus the new energy and the new layers that I'm becoming aware of. Other people are feeling it. And my prayer is that you will too. So I got a butt cramp, a back cramp, and an old man's got to pee. Damn this old age, I tell you. But I feel different. I feel better. I can't explain it. And I'll check back in with you to see how you folks are doing. I hope I don't have time right now because if I don't shut this thing off, I'm going to make a puddle on the floor. So I see you, Quartz. Action, Adrian Coleman, I think, Tim Who TV. I love you guys. Be sweet, be kind, be generous. And I'll have a chat with you when I can read it. But I don't want to pee on the floor. So I love you all. Take care of yourself. And remember, I pray for every one of you every day. I pray that you will accept and receive the healing from the universe, from Source, from the Creator. I hope that you accept 100.1% and say, yes, I believe. Because if you're already pretty much there, what's holding you back? So love and prayers continuous. Also, ask an angel for help. But you got to do them. You got to believe and say, yes, I do. And that is your sign. You sign the contract. And because once you say I do and you stay with you can hear your angel all the time, you ain't going back. Love, guys, folks, everybody.